Hey everyone, this is Rich with Picopros.com. Welcome to this weekly discussion. It's April 16th, 2015, and we're glad you can make it. What I'd like to talk about this week is something that was just announced and made available for pre-order, which is the Apple Watch. A lot of people probably already know what this is, but it's the latest smartwatch made by Apple, and we're getting a lot of questions about, hey, do you guys think this thing's ever going to have a Pico projector in it? Or, how is this thing going to tie in with Picos? And it's basically, I just want to go over that discussion, and I've been thinking about it a little bit. And I don't think that the Apple Watch or any other smartwatch will ever have a Pico projector. One of the reasons that I personally don't think that you will ever see a projector inside a smartphone is that, one, there's problems with the user interface. And I'm specifically talking about touch projection when it comes to user interface. Touch projection is a really cool way of interacting with a projected surface, very similar to a touch screen, but basically on a projected image. It's really cool. So that's what I want to talk about here. One, Apple is, they're already introducing a couple different user interface things with the Apple Watch. They have the crown. It's a new way of interacting with the device. It's a little dial on the side that you can rotate and you can click. And they also have the force touch and that type of stuff. I think it's a little too early for them to introduce too many user interface ways to interface with the device. I think if you introduce too many user interface methods, it becomes a little overwhelming for some of the users. So I think it's best that they start off with something that's familiar. And what's familiar with the Apple community is iOS. So they made the Apple Watch to look like iOS. So it's similar in using it with the multi-touch in that. So I think that's one of the things that is great about the Apple Watch, but I think that's why we're not seeing a projector on the device just yet, if we do. The thing is, I think the steps going forward, I think they're going to try to take what they have, improve upon it, and then eventually, maybe there will be a point in time where the device runs out of capabilities and they want to expand some of that stuff, and they could look into projection as something that you can add on to the watch. But we're not seeing it with the smartphones just yet, not in mainstream. The Galaxy Beam is a smartphone that has an embedded Pico projector in it, but we haven't seen that with the Apple iPhone, which is why I don't think we're going to see it with the Apple Watch. I think they're going to focus on just making the watch smaller, add some more memory to it so that you can, I don't know about this one honestly. Thinking about it, it's tied to your smartphone, so you don't really need a lot of memory. You're going to be streaming a lot of content from your smartphone to the watch, but I think what's going to happen going forward is you're going to get a lot of folks out there that really want to disconnect their watch from the phone. Personally, if I'm out running or outside, if I had a watch, it would be nice with the GPS in that, but I don't want to carry a phone and the watch at the same time. So I think going forward, they're going to have to, remove the reliance on a smartphone. And those are the things that I think they're going to focus on. I don't think they're going to focus on a projector. And then the other thing is that I do see problems with the form factor if it does have a Pico projector embedded in it. Imagine trying to watch something from the watch that's being projected. Your wrist would have to be rotated downward, or it'd have to be the projector would have to be positioned in a way off on the side. You'd really have to be pretty specific. And I think when you're holding, and obviously we haven't been able to test this yet, but I think in theory, my theory is that if you're holding your arm up and projecting something on the wall, I think your arm's going to get a little strained, and I don't think you're going to want to hold your arm up facing towards a wall or something like that. So I don't really think the form factor works very well. And then on the other side of that, yeah, you can take the watch off, but I think that kind of goes against the principles of the smartwatch. I think a lot of what the smartwatches do are remove your reliance on having to take your phone out. So there's a nice convenience factor with them, and I don't think it's convenient to take the watch off. So those are kind of why. Those are a few reasons why I don't think we're gonna be seeing a Pico projector. Other things that go with this are just the size of it. I mean, you're gonna have to people aren't gonna want to have a large smartphone, right? With a projector, they're gonna want to have a slimmer. I think the focus is going to be on a slimmer smartwatch. But anyway, and then I think there's some burning questions. Are there some benefits for having a projector in a smartwatch, the Apple Watch or any other smartwatch? I kind of been talking about the Apple Watch because now that the Apple Watch is out, I think you're going to get a little bit more eyeballs on smartwatches. We've seen the Moto 360, we've seen like the Pebble, we've seen wearable wrist type devices, but they haven't really exploded. And I think the Apple Watch, just because of the history with Apple, with the iPhone, they were not the first to do this, to do things, but once they do it, they get a lot of focus, and a lot of people are interested. But anyway, so I think why should the Apple Watch have a projector? Well, would we see a media content push from Apple? Michael Gordon, he's the analyst. He wrote some predictions for 2015 about digital video content, video on demand, and he had projected that in 2015 Apple would enter the world of subscription video services, like similar to a Netflix or something like that. I think he's right there. They're doing the Beats thing, and I think they're going to get into streaming music. So I think it's natural that they get into streaming video. So there could be a benefit for having a projector in a small, either the phone or the watch. And then Apple TV, it seems like it's getting a little bit more interest, and there are a lot more folks that it's becoming more popular. So I'm trying to say, and I think in your living room, video on demand, downloading an episode of a show, and then having that on your phone connected to the watch, I think we can have that. Could be a little bit of a push to maybe get projectors into these devices. And lastly, I think we should do it just because we're fans of Pico projectors and we'd like to see it. And that's about all. So yeah, this is this week's just brainstorming discussion. I'm going to try doing these weekly chats, just letting you guys know my thoughts on anything that's out there related to Pico projectors or anything in general. So if you have any questions, or if you'd like to get our thoughts on anything that's out there, give us a shout out on Twitter or Facebook. Write some comments. We'll try to answer any questions. And that's been I'm going to wrap it up here. And this is our quick weekly discussion from Picopros.com. Again, this was Rich, and thanks for listening.